Hi there, Laura Warren, psychic medium, and I've been waiting a long time to talk to you guys about this. How do you know if your house is haunted? So, we look for paranormal activity when we go into homes and we want to help the people that are living there, or we want to help a spirit crossover, or we want to clear up negative energy. We look for paranormal activity, and paranormal activity is basically things that are happening in the home or around the people that live there that aren't easily explainable. So we kind of have to go and do like a little debunking mission. And we know in old homes there can be creaky noises sometimes that don't make a lot of sense, or maybe there's drafts in the home that would explain some temperature changes and that kind of thing. So we kind of go through like all the easily explainable things. And if things aren't explainable, then we know that there's something kind of weird going on. Now, from my side of it, I connect with spirit. So as soon as I walk into a place, usually what happens, as long as they want to talk to me, they make themselves known pretty quickly. Because if they have a message to get across or something they need to say or do, they want to tell you right away. So they know I can talk to them, they know I can hear them. So they'll usually approach and I'll be able to figure out what's happening in this place and how I can help the people in the home. And a lot of people do get kind of attached to their spirits too, even though they might feel a little scared sometimes. So sometimes there's a little bit of kind of counseling that goes on there too. But I will tell you that most of the things that we look for things that, like I said, can't be explained. So is there a strange odor in the home that doesn't have a source? Because sometimes odors or smells are attached to spirits. It's a type of energy expression. So for instance, if they were a heavy smoker, you might smell cigarette smoke, cigar smoke, that kind of thing when they're around. If they wore a strong perfume, you may smell that. If they were really into cooking and baking, sometimes the smell of like bread or cookies, that kind of thing, can come through for no apparent reason. So that's something that we really ask about too. We ask about the smell, but also we ask, is there temperature changes in the home that don't make sense? So these are like dramatic temperature changes. Usually it's a dramatic drop in temperature when spirit is present. Also, we might ask, do you have trouble with electronics? Turning on and off, channels changing on the TV, or even batteries dying. Cell phone batteries dying are usually a good indicator that spirit is drawing power. They're drawing that sort of energy, electricity from batteries or from cell phones to maintain their presence. And this is something that I've personally had a lot of issues with over the years. Sometimes I'm okay, but sometimes my watch batteries die very quickly, or my cell phone battery dies very quickly. And that's when I know that there's probably quite a bit of spirit presence around me, and it's probably time to clean house. So we also look for things like noises, strange, noises that can't be explained, or even the action of doors slamming or cupboard doors shutting, like closing. And a lot of people will express that they hear like even glass shattering sometimes, or footsteps. Phantom footsteps is a big thing. If you actually have a sensation of a presence, that you're not alone, that's another indicator that there may be something spirit related going on in your home. There's a sensation that we get too, like sort of on the back of our neck, this kind of crawling, or goosebump sensation when we feel the presence is near. And what we're looking for is some of these things to happen at the same time too. So maybe you see a shadow figure out of the corner of your eye, or you see a shadow walking through the home, and immediately at the same time you feel that prickly feeling on your neck. We're looking for some of these things to be happening around the same time, because then you can confirm. It's easier to confirm that there is spirit presence there. Also, we also look for, there's that feeling that you have of presence in the shadow figures and the sensation of your neck, but it can also show up like goosebumps all over, like kind of like a tingly feeling that goes through your body. So that's some of the things to look for. Some people have like intelligent haunts. So this means when you can actually talk to the spirit and you can ask it questions and it will answer you in different ways, maybe by flickering the lights or maybe by actual like sound. And sometimes the sounds are not easy to hear because they're speaking on a different vibration. So if a ghost hunter or a paranormal investigator would have special equipment to hear the responses. The other thing to know is that sometimes an older home or property may have echoes of energy. So this is like, I call it like echoes from the past. So the energy imprint is there from that time. And it kind of keeps happening over and over again, like sort of like a broken record. So if you hear disembodied voices, so voices that sound sort of like maybe a radio not quite on the station or something kind of out of tune and you can't quite make out what they're saying. It's like mumbly sort of, but you know it's conversation. Or maybe it's we hear the disembodied voices, but maybe it is the actual footsteps or the shadow that you see that are also echoes of energy. They're energy imprints and not actually like a true haunting. So I hope this kind of helps you figure out, if you have anything going on in your home. And I want to say to you that we do want to know if spirit is malevolent or not. So we don't need to worry so much about hauntings. There's spirits everywhere. When we worry is when it's affecting the family in a negative fashion. That's when we worry. That's when we would want to clear the house, ask the spirit to cross over and protect the family. But for the most part, what I see is spirit that is actually quite friendly, that just wants to stay in their home or they want to stay close to family. And it's not necessarily the type of haunting that you need to be scared or worried about. Usually hauntings happen when spirit is very connected to the land or they have unfinished business. They have things that they have to come back and sort out. They have a message to give you. And a lot of times once they get to tell their story and they share their message, they leave and the activity ceases because they can now rest. So I don't want you to worry too much if you've experienced some of these things. Usually they're quite harmless and they just want to be close to you or they don't want to let go of their home or property. And if you're having any issues at all, well, now you know who to call. All right. I want you to have a fabulous day. And if you have any comments or questions or anything you'd like to say, just leave them in the comments section below.